Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about Miley Cyrus and her diagnosis of Reinke's edema. For some background, Miley Cyrus was born on November 23rd, 1992, therefore she's currently 30 years old. Regarding family history, Miley's mom was adopted and she struggled with mental health issues based on her scenario. Additionally, Miley's father's parents were divorced when he was a young boy, which was challenging for him to cope with. Miley being aware of her parents' experiences has made her question her own and has led her to have feelings such as abandonment and feeling like she needed to prove her worth, which then led to misuse of drugs and alcohol later in her life. In regards to Miley's profession, she's currently a singer, songwriter, actress, dancer, author, and fashion designer, so she does it all. However, she started her career at 12 years old on the hit show Hannah Montana, where she was an actress and a pop singer. Her music became such a hit that she toured as both Miley and Hannah Montana, and fans flocked to her shows. Throughout her career, even to this day, Miley presents herself as an emotional, forceful singer, which puts a lot of strain on her vocal cords during each performance. As a result of her pop star lifestyle, Miley got very little vocal rest time. This is unhealthy because without rest, her body and vocal cords have no time to recover. What if an athlete never had a rest day? Wouldn't they be more likely to injure themselves? Of course. It's the same idea for singers because the vocal anatomy relies on its muscles, just like athletes rely on their muscles for success. But if overuse occurs, it could negatively affect the singer's voice. In addition to minimal vocal rest time, Miley also allowed herself minimal sleeping time. According to the artist, she would stay up all night after her shows doing extra talking, which later led to drinking and smoking. When reflecting on Miley's singing career, her vocal quality has changed drastically from the time she started to where she is now. Her voice started off very light and high-pitched, but is now much deeper and raspier. Here are some clips demonstrating the vocal changes that she experienced. So what did Miley do once she realized that something was wrong with her voice? She went to seek medical advice initially for tonsillitis, which later led to her diagnosis of Reinke's edema. Reinke's edema is a condition that causes the vocal cords to swell. The swelling comes from gelatinous fluid with an appearance that resembles water balloons. Swelling is typically bilateral, however, it could be unilateral. Within the anatomy, the layer known as the superficial lamina propria, or Reinke's layer, is where the swelling takes place. So here we have a model of the larynx. The Reinke's layer, which is a layer within the vocal folds, allows the vocal folds to vibrate, and as stated before, that layer is thickened or swollen, which causes it to feel heavy, leading to a deeper voice. If we take a look from this angle, we have our healthy vocal folds, but the soft, vibrating structures in a person with Reinke's edema would appear much more swollen. Just for an additional example, here is a video clip of a person speaking with Reinke's edema before any type of treatment.
Light strikes raindrops in the air, they act as a prism and form a rainbow. The rainbow is a division of white light into many beautiful colors.
Now that we know what Reinke's edema is, it's important to know the causes. Causes include trauma or chronic exposure to irritants such as cigarette smoke, severe acid reflux, sinusitis, an underactive thyroid, or anything that chronically irritates the vocal folds. In some cases, if the severity increases, it could negatively impact breathing. According to Miley's interview, her doctor told her that shy people don't end up with this condition. It's often due to abuse of the voice over a long period of time. However, Miley acquired it young due to all of the contributing factors listed previously. The doctor also joked, saying that it's for people that talk way too much. Miley then expressed that due to the adrenaline that she had after her shows, it made it really challenging for her to sleep, which led to her staying up through the night while talking, smoking, and drinking. Before we continue, let's review the contributing factors that led to Miley's diagnosis of Reinke's edema. They included sleep deprivation, vocal overload, no rest time, excessive exposure to cigarettes, and her forceful singing style. In its current state, Miley's vocal quality is low-pitched and gravelly, which is consistent with Reinke's edema. The low pitch is due to slow vibrations since the vocal fold mass is large, and the gravelly voice is due to the vocal folds not closing completely and/or the shape and size of the vocal folds causing irregular vibrations. In order to treat Reinke's edema, elimination of causal factors is essential for the prognosis of those presenting with edema. For example, if the cause is due to smoking, the first step would be to eliminate smoking. Vocal hygiene is also extremely important during the management process. Vocal hygiene includes vocal rest, hydration, and avoiding yelling or smoking, intake of alcohol or caffeine, coughing, and throat clearing. In other circumstances, patients require surgical treatment. However, in most cases, seeking therapy from an SLP is helpful because they can educate clients about vocal hygiene or therapeutic tasks to help them with progress and longevity. For Miley's personal situation, she had surgery in 2019 to address the Reinke's edema. However, the specific surgery was not released. Regardless of what surgery was performed, the overall purpose was to reduce the swelling that was occurring. After the surgery and being educated about vocal hygiene, Miley is grateful for the experience because it taught her how to take care of her voice and it helped lead her to sobriety. Here's a video of her overall reflection based on her voice and how she plans to take care of herself moving forward. I also wanted to apologize in advance for the one bad word that Howard Stern says, but here it is.
You get intimidated when you're working with an Elton John?
Music is where I can hide. Music is where I feel the most secure. That's why my voice holds a lot of value to myself and to other people. And I've had to kind of work on my relationship with that and find other things that I love about myself too, because, you look at other athletes or their whole careers are built on these big muscles, and it's like, I've got these two little tiny cords and everything is balanced on top of these little, whenever you get scoped and you actually see it, it's really crazy when you see how much force and pressure, everything, my stability in my life is balanced on these tiny little chords. And when you look at these other athletes, which is what I consider myself to really be, and that's why it's just so important that now I've been really training, because I learned what happens when you don't train, and it's just really important to take care of these things that is the reason why all of us here have something to do today. So it's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure, and I know a lot of singers who have lost their voice, literally lost their voice.
I had a surgery last November. I was one of the younger artists that had ever had this surgery when I was looking at, the Steven Tylers on the wall, and I'm like, I'm not here yet. Why do my chords look like Steven Tyler? And I'm looking and I'm thinking about the longevity and sustainability that he's had, and then I'm looking at myself. I was 26, and I'm getting this surgery that 6-year-old touring artists are getting. But I'm feeling really good, and I've done the rehabilitation that it takes, so I never want to do that again.
So in taking assessment of your vocal cords and your career and having this understanding, is that why you became sober? That you said, if I drink, I'm fucking my voice up, I'm making bad decisions. How hard was it for you to get sober?
It's the decision making. When I want to do something, I do it, and there's just no question about it. And so it wasn't as challenging as it can be for a lot of people. For me, drinking hasn't been my demon, but it does not get me going any further. If anything, it just makes me not reach my full potential, which is unacceptable to me. I will not accept anyone or anything that causes me to not reach my fullest potential.
Clearly, Miley has had her ups and downs, but she has come a long, long way. In one of her interviews, she stated that by understanding the past, we understand the present and the future much more clearly. And that she is also in full support of therapy to address any internal demons that she might face moving forward. Miley is also very proud of her voice, and now she has the tools to take care of it properly. As a future SLP, hearing a client have this level of self-awareness and openness to bettering their life is a strong prognostic indicator, and it inspires me to want to help other people that struggle with their voices too. All in all, this proves that no matter how famous or special a person is, they are still human, and they need to take care of their bodies the same way that we are all expected to. Education is so important, and as future SLPs, it is our job to spread awareness. Thank you so much for listening, and here is a summary of my presentation.